once again through the night, more drones were flying throughout the country as everyone is trying to see, is Russia preparing after more than 2 weeks now? Is Russia going to come up with some response to what Ukraine is doing on Russian soil?
Before we continue, we invite you to follow our channel, the only American show reporting live from Ukraine every day.
Joseph, I want to read an email that came over yesterday, and it involves you. First of all, it says, "Good morning to Wendy Schneider." Close enough. It's Snyder, but that's all right. Thank you for your kind and uplifting words to our hero, Joseph Lindsley in Ukraine, and to mention Ukrainian Freedom News, his website. I do hope your listeners will check it out and make a contribution. A drone costs only $300, and it is so unbelievably effective. And thank you. I like how you wish Joseph to be safe and thanking him for his tireless work. You truly speak for all his dedicated listeners. Thank you, Elke Friedman from Northbrook.
Well, Wendy Snyder, thank you for sharing those words from Elke. And, Elke's a name. I've never met Elke, but I feel like I know her. She's one of the many regular listeners to the program. And many months ago, an American from Chicago, a WGN listener, like several other people, came to Ukraine, Jim Gamache, and he's friends with Elke.
Oh.
There's a lot of people that gather like over coffee to listen to these reports, or they text each other afterward every morning to share their ideas about what we are talking about what's happened here in Ukraine, and it's really created a community. And Jim, I think I could share this. Jim handed me an envelope in Lviv, and it was a present from Elke. For me, and also to give to the Ukrainian military, and so this is, you really see that there's a real strong community, a genuine community that's formed through these daily conversations. Now we are on day 910 of Russia's full-scale invasion, and except for weekends and a few holidays, we've been all communicating with each other, and the drones, I should note. Those drones are only about $300 to $500. Most of them now are about $350, not $300,000. So very because a little $350 drone can't take out a multi-million-dollar Russian tank or helicopter. One nuance to note there, because I was talking with a friend, a foreign fighter who's a great drone pilot. It's still you need a lot of those cheap drones in order to hit one target. There's a lot of trial and error. So they need to have just because you buy one drone doesn't mean that necessarily is going to destroy a Russian tank. You probably need at least a couple dozen to really have the impact. But still, the economics of it work pretty well, extremely well. The Russians are adapting on that too, but I think Ukrainians are moving a bit faster. They have more motivation to be innovative on this. So, yes, thank you for sharing that note from Elke. And Wendy, we finally have updated our website. It still has some problems, but you can go to UkrainianFreedomNews.com. And one thing we're trying to do there is to bring together not just these reports. You can watch video versions of them, but also some of the most interesting podcasts from other people about Ukraine, whether they're from Ukraine or from the UK and other places. So you can see that at UkrainianFreedomNews.com, and we welcome support as we continue to buy not only drones, but also anti-drone. So these backpacks, they create a force field around you to prevent the Russian drones from attacking Ukrainians. So we're working on that, and thanks to the people of Chicago for that support. And I wanted to share with you this. The Ukrainians are still in Kursk in Russia. The advance has slowed. But they're holding the ground, and there's still no major response from Russia. In some ways, there's also still no major response from the United States. You would think that after 2.5 years of saying we're with Ukraine as long as it takes, such a great accomplishment as what Ukrainians have done would be highly trumpeted, and it's not. It's sort of downplayed. It's just strange. But meanwhile, in the east, in Donbas, the fighting is very intense there. And there's a little village called Niu-York. It was named such by an American in the 1800s. It was a mining village, and the Russians have almost taken this, and they're moving toward this very key logistical hub called Pokrovsk. And so the Russians are making progress there, and the fighting is terrible. And I saw this tribute, a friend of a friend of a friend, Ukrainian named Alexei, was sharing the story of his friend Slavik, who had been a civilian who signed up to fight, and he was killed in this intense fighting there in Donbas. And so here are the words that Alexei wrote about his friend Slavik. He said, Slavy was 25 years old. Like most military, people will not write about him in the news, but he went to war for us. He loved racing and fixing cars. He told me his plans to buy a house in Izum, that city near Kharkiv, where there's very intense fighting. He told me his plans to buy a house in Izum and to breed chickens after the war. He's come a long way in hot directions as part of the 93rd Cold Valley crew, as part of an anti-tank unit. And even after he sustained some injuries, he returned to battle, destroying Russian equipment. We talked for hours on the phone. The last time we talked was 2 days before he was killed by the Russians. Slavy said he was tired and he wanted to drink a cold beer by the sea. I promised him that we'd drink together, but we never had time.
Wow. Honestly, I can't imagine even being over there, Joseph. Really.
Yeah, I mean, it's because it's so, as we think in our American context, the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and so far away from us, right? And we still would have connections to that from knowing people who were there fighting, people who were killed, people who were injured and wounded in different ways. But here, the war is right here, and you still have life going on in the cities, but there's always this heaviness right around the corner. And that is there's both. It's very difficult, but then also it's there's a solidarity here for sure, because everyone is going through the same challenges and fears. And once again, through the night, more drones were flying throughout the country as everyone is trying to see, is Russia preparing after more than 2 weeks now? Is Russia going to come up with some response to what Ukraine is doing on Russian soil?
Well, definitely keep us posted and stay safe as usual. And I want to thank Elke, too, for her support. And again, drones are only $300, and you can go to UkrainianFreedomNews.com and help donate. Joseph, until tomorrow, we'll speak again.
Thank you for introducing Ukraine on your social media pages. That's very important that much more people can get more information about the situation here and how everybody can help Ukraine to stay stronger and to save all the world.
Что он сказал?
Well, which side are you on?
На чьей ты стороне?
Come on now. Oh, which side are you on?
На чьей ты стороне?
Ебать.